Yeah. Hey, Dave, every time that Kentucky scored tonight, your team scored in the top of the next inning. I wonder what you thought about the response that they had.
Well, I thought offensively, we did a good job of getting on base. We found a way to score a couple of key runs to keep the lead and tie it, just put a little pressure on them. And uh, that was one of the ugliest games I've been involved in a while. And at least on our side of it, feel very fortunate to win. You look at all the little things we didn't do on the defensive side, and but our pitching was great. Gackle was good. Eves had a really good inning, and then they put a couple good swings on him, and then obviously McElvain saved us. So great job by our guys just hanging in there.
Yeah, Kentucky, they had 5 innings where they stranded at least one base runner in scoring position. And then, I mean, the sixth, seventh, and eighth innings, it felt like that was kind of the ball game, the way that Steele and Ethan pitched out of those. In those two particular pitchers in those situations, what did you see from them? What did they do well?
They both threw a lot of strikes, and for the most part, we're hitting their spots. They weren't just throwing it over the plate. They were hitting the spot, keeping the ball away, keeping it down a little bit, and it just I thought for the most part pitched ahead. There were a couple of times they got behind. I'm talking about McElvain, and he battled right back, got back in the count. You know, he it says he got 9 outs, but really he got about 12.
Mm.
If we just handle the ball, I mean, just some odd things going on. And but yeah, just they threw a lot of strikes and they pitched ahead.
When you say it was an ugly win, was it because of the defense, the errors in those late innings?
Yeah, yeah, it was errors and it was plays that were not made. That you know, two of them were scored hits. One of them went into the outfield that tied the game when the young man ran into
Hmm.
our shortstop. His lack of communication there, and the other was a ground ball to the right of the first baseman, a first baseman that hadn't played a whole lot that couldn't get back to the bag in time. Thank goodness McElvain struck out the next hitter, and it was just one thing after another. And Reese Robinette, I've never seen him drop a pop up. He dropped one tonight, and it wasn't that hard of a play, but the ball kind of handcuffed him. So I didn't know if he could move around good enough to get in position. I don't know what happened there, and yeah, I could go on and on. I saw a few more things I don't need to bring up.
How happy were you to respond with the win tonight after the way last night went?
Yeah, bottom line, we won the game, and we needed to win in the worst way, and we got it. And like I told the team, we really didn't play well at all, but we played hard. We kept fighting, and we found a way to win the game, and that was the main thing.
I think Matt Grissom's got a question.
Go
Okay.
ahead. Coach, I feel like Nick Mingione's Kentucky teams always have a knack for making opponents make mistakes. What is it about his teams that makes it? I feel like they're always in a grinded out type game.
Well, uh, you may be right. You must have seen him play more than I have. What they do is they put pressure on you on the bases. They tried to do that early, and we picked a guy off, which was great because there was only one out at the time. And I think most of the things that went wrong today, it was 100% on us. I'm not saying that they don't make other teams mess up, so to speak, but tonight we just messed up on our own.
Hey, Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, then Dave, the safety bunt or the squeeze bunt they had, y'all probably knew that one was coming. Just it was such a good bunt, it was no way to make the play.
Yeah, and that was another play. I mean, we didn't need to flip the ball to home. We weren't going to get him. Just need to field the ball and throw the guy out at first. Call that damage control. Game's tied. Don't put another guy on base. And but yeah, that was a great bunt. That big guy, big left-handed hitter, he's a really good bunter. I mean, he bunts for hits too. So he also had a home run opposite field, but McElvain got him there in the last inning, so that was great.
You still got a lot of pitchers who haven't thrown. What all kind of plan might you have for tomorrow?
Yeah, you'll see Gibbler sometime. Um, not sure when yet, but you'll see him. And hey, anybody we need to throw, we'll throw them all.
You
Yeah.
talked about damage control that looked like Steel Eves made a heck of a play there to save that ball from getting past first base. I mean, what was your viewpoint on that? What were you telling him in the dugout?
Yeah, that was just a good play by him. Heads up, he was keeping an eye on things, and he got in the right position to to keep that ball, like you said, from being more of a problem.
Matt, you got anything else, Matt Jones?
Yeah, yeah, two or three more. You mentioned that collision between Van Cleve and Cam. Uh, I know Cam stayed in the game, but was there concern that he was injured more than he was there just in that moment?
A little bit, at first, I guess he got run into and hit the back of his head.
Hmm.
So, uh, I went out there after a few minutes and just wanted to get Nolan kind of. Souza was kind of hanging out, right in the middle of it, and I could tell that their player wasn't getting up, and I wanted to get these guys away. And then when I went out there, I asked Cam how he was doing. He said he was okay. So, and he acted normal. So, I think at first there was a concern because it was pretty violent, but Cam didn't even really even see it because the guy hit him in the back.
Like sometimes you'll get a pitcher injury, and there'll be like I think about when Dylan Vigu got hurt several weeks back in Fayetteville, and there'll be a long delay. But it's rare that you see something like that. Is it more difficult when you've got something like that and you see a player stretch it off, just in terms of the guys being ready to get back on the field and play again?
Yeah, I was concerned about that. Haven't really been around a lot of that. I've been doing this for a long time, so uh, I don't remember the last time we've had to kind of pull our team off the field.
Hmm.
While they were taking care of their teammate. But I thought Gackle came out, had a runner on second and third, two down, and man, he pitched. He had a great. That he threw great to that hitter and got us back in the dugout. I think with the game tied. So yeah, you hate it for the other team, you hate it for the player and everybody involved. Fans were not happy either. So our guys did a good job of staying focused.
That home run that Cam hit the next half inning. Wonder what you saw on that pitch and how big that was. Just kind of at that moment.
Well, first off, the at bat was amazing. I don't know how many pitches he saw, but I'm going to say it was 8 to 10, fouling off some pitches, and then the pitch was something off speed, change up maybe, and I mean cutter. It just he went down and got it, and that was a big swing.
And then last one, McIlvain. Every time that he came off the field, you guys had a really long next half inning. Did that help him whenever his pitch count was so high, having maybe a little bit of extra time in between innings?
I think it really helped him that in the top of the ninth that even though we didn't score, it took a while and he got some rest and got to catch his breath, and then he came out there and I didn't know what we were going to see there because kind of stretching him a little bit, but I think the rest helped him out a lot and kind of knew after the first couple of pitches that he still had it.
All right, thank you.
Coach, appreciate your time. See you tomorrow.
Thanks, guys.